I've always said now I don't believe in it cannot be done. I get a cannot does not exist in my vocabulary. So anything that you think I cannot do, I can do. And then now I force my way, like I forced that. So I've got so many things that I'm doing, and I always see that people say you need to pursue one thing and then you stick to it and then you will excel in it. But now I'm one that feels you need to branch out, because at times you might think that this is your passion, and you stick to it and it's not working out, and you'd be surprised that immediately you branch out to something else. Who is Matshego Piko? Matshego Piko is one that's born and bred in Kimberley. Matshego Piko is a mother of 3. Matshego Piko is a woman that loves God. Matshego Piko is a lady that loves business. She's an entrepreneur. She absolutely loves business, and she's also an activist. So now, me encouraging my kids now based on society now, do what makes you happy. So that if you get discouraged by our leaders, then you don't have to sit down. Or you are not discouraged because I'm not getting to where I want to. Because if you go according to your passion, doesn't matter how many times it fails, you keep on rising up because it's your passion. It's something that you love. So I'm pushing them in that direction.
And also you get your own cookie.
Hey, Nina. Hey. I can't relationship with Kim John. There's a Kim John. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to relation, I sent that email and I gave notice. And I packed everything of mine on the 31st of December and I moved back to Kim. So there's others that we asked for. I don't okay, man. I googled them. I couldn't even find anything on them. This person, there is nothing for a job because you feel like, okay, I'm located. Maybe now let me pursue business and 9 to 5. When you look at, the salary skill that they're giving and where you come from, it's not even close, not even half of what you were earning. The business is not doing well. You are running out of your pension funds. It was a whole mess.
You reminded me of my own personal story. Hello and welcome to Our Voice, your information partner. My name is Sabuhari and I'm excited for today's episode. Today we speak to one of our favorite sisters who's going to probably inspire you to follow your dreams because she's beautiful, she's bold, and she knows her story. Welcome to this installment of Our Voice. Please do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends that online is where the world is at and we want to also tell their story. Matshego Piko is her name and I'm so happy because this conversation is long overdue. Welcome to Our Voice.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm excited because, we were supposed to be working together and something happened.
Yay.
But we are here today. So we're still saying this offline that some people take a little disagreement as,
out of proportion.
So thank you so much that you are matured.
Yeah, very matured.
So first things first, who is Matshego Piko as you introduce yourself?
Who is Matshego Piko? Matshego Piko is one that's born and bred in Kimberley. Matshego Piko is a mother of 3. Matshego Piko is a woman that loves God. Matshego Piko is a lady that loves business. She's an entrepreneur. She absolutely loves business and she's also an activist. Our voice, I usually make myself a voice for others. So if you do not have a voice, I will definitely be that voice. So that is Matshego Piko. I am that. So in a nutshell, that's Matshego Piko.
Yeah. So where is this boldness coming from? What did you say inspired the boldness in you?
Wheaty, I don't even know. It's like growing up, I've always been this quiet person. I grew up as a Hiskat, Kasi Kimberley. I've been always quiet, I've always been. And then suddenly, I moved from Skolo Saletsho and then I went to Homeville. I think maybe the environment of the high school.
Because there was also a mix.
It was mixed. So I think it kind of forced me, you know what, you must bring out that person to avoid maybe being bullied or anything like that. Because I think maybe it was probably fear of that. So I had to put on a brave persona to avoid being bullied by anyone. And I think ever since it's always been. But I think also I took a little bit, not a little bit, I think quite a lot from my mom. My mom is a very brave woman. So I think everything that I've learned thus far, that I know, I took from her.
So she probably is the one who inspires you, right?
Oh, too much. Too much. You're that lady, she's she's gonna go in. And I took everything from her. She's one brave lady. So I think I took a lot from her.
And you know, today's people, they don't always acknowledge the wisdom of the elderly.
Of the elderly.
Which I feel you are missing out. Because if you are launching in the world without an instruction from your parents, you don't have a blessing that accompanies that instruction.
Absolutely. Because I feel society has normalized so many things, that we feel that we can do it. There's no problem with you saying that you can do it. However, taking a little bit of wisdom from somebody who's been there, who would be able to guide you without the influence of social media. Because remember, at times, whatever that we do is influenced by social media. Now, getting that wisdom from somebody who's not influenced by anything, but they're giving you pure wisdom. It's not organic. They're giving you organic wisdom.
From life experience.
From life experiences.
And also from
altered.
They are also their parents,
Exactly.
the wisdom that was passed down to them.
Precisely.
Because today we see things, today's like you can manufacture success. Like you can look good, take a picture.
A few
you
pictures.
get 1,000 likes. And then people think, success.
When they meet you tomorrow morning, this is not what we saw on social media. It's two different people. Or
It's deceiving. And also that is why sometimes it's like, and now I don't want to look successful. I want to
be successful.
Because there is deception. Because now you are selling this picture that is not there. When people meet you, they don't find that.
They do not find that. Now I usually say love your truth. And there's nothing wrong in loving your truth. And you are actually more free when you love your truth. Because immediately when I start altering my lifestyle, I am forced to now maintain lifestyle that I've put out there.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. And you end up you forget even who you are. You're not going to be yourself anymore because you're busy. You need to alter this. You need to make sure if this is what they saw, this I need to maintain constantly.
You protect this lie, you add another layer, you keep on working hard, and that is why today people are struggling with so many mental health issues.
Exactly.
So,
Pressure.
So talking about this wisdom and stuff, is there a quote that maybe inspires you? A personal mantra that you go with sometimes that you go back to when life challenges you?
Man, I've always said now I don't believe in it cannot be done. I get a cannot does not exist in my vocabulary. So anything that you think I cannot do, I can do. And then I force my way, like I forced that. So there's no way that it can't be done. If I say it's
definitely.
So anything that is man-made, you can alter. Even life itself, you will not get the outcome that you initially anticipated, but there will be a positive outcome. Hence, cannot does not exist.
Yeah.
And I live by that rule. It cannot exist.
And you are living proof that truly you believe that. And you are bold. And I see you are going for your dreams. If you say there's no cannot in your vocab, it means that you are bold. But also now, the fact that you are pursuing business, you didn't go for a safe career, it also shows that you are bold.
I think it's boldness here because what when I initially decided to pursue being an entrepreneur, I was working with Cape Town for over I think 10 years or so, and then I decided overnight. I'm an impulsive thinker. I decide now. So due to whatever that was happening, I woke up one day and I decided I'm going to resign, and I sent that email and I gave notice. And I packed everything of mine on the 31st of December and I moved back to Kimberley from Cape Town.
Sure.
When I got here, I opened my salon, ke tlogetse 9 to 5. Little did I know her. 9 to 5, remember when it comes month end, even if you've got so much debt, there is something that tells you when money is coming in on the 25 or on the 30th. When you are self-employed, months can go, personally 2 rent it's enough. Mind you, you've got bills, you've got kids. There are all these expenses that needs to be paid. And nobody told me about those. Because I knew they were there.
But the reality of living it out, of experiencing that,
Bona.
well, it had not clicked
It
until
had
you
not
went
cl-
through it.
Until I went through it. You know when it's month end, and it's month end, and you need to go back to your mom. Remember now I'm married, I've got a husband, I've got kids. Now I have to go ask my mom, hey, but I know my dear rent. You decided to move from Cape Town to Kimberley.
Now we are here.
Now we are here. There are no big private companies in Kimberley, so you start looking for a job because you feel like, okay, I relocated. Maybe now let me pursue business and 9 to 5. When you look at, the salary scale that they're giving you and where you come from, it's not even close, not even half of
Sure.
what you were earning. The business is not doing well. You are running out of your pension funds. It was a whole mess.
You reminded me of my own personal story where also I was employed, right? And I said, I wanted the big lights.
Hey. You saw others excelling. The success of others, they motivate you, but they don't tell you how they got there.
Definitely. And I quit my job, I went to the big lights, and then I realized later that I didn't love Joburg as much as I thought I loved it. And also, not everything is for you. You can be inspired by something, but it doesn't mean that it's your thing.
It's yours, yeah.
And
definitely.
once I experienced what I experienced, I was like, no, I'm not paying so much money for rent.
Exactly.
Well, I have a little, I can go back
You can go back home and start over.
You understand? And now months went where not even a cent came into the account.
Bona.
At that time, you used to have 2 cars.
Bona.
You had a house. And now,
Debit orders. You know what they must go through. You need to start hustling from others. You know what? I need to be able to maintain this. I wish about your expenses. Sometimes your expenses are even worth Poma 20K, Poma 15K. You are nowhere near that amount.
And what I love about the situation is then you are introduced to yourself. You get to meet who you are. I thought I knew myself until I had nothing. And then I
you
knew
had to start from scratch.
And exactly. That is why I respect people who are pursuing their dreams, their careers. But how has the journey in business been? And what are some of the businesses that you are pursuing?
The journey has been a roller coaster. It's been a huge roller coaster. But I've got so many things that I'm doing, and I always see that people say you need to pursue one thing and then you stick to it and then you will excel in it. But now I'm one that feels you need to branch out, because at times you might think that this is your passion, and you stick to it and it's not working out, and you'd be surprised that immediately when you branch out to something else, then that succeeds. So my business journey, I've initially when I opened my business, it was just a mere hair salon, and then and then I branched out to brows, and then it was lashes. Because the license has expired, a registered diamond dealer. So that must also be mentioned.
Yes.
So simply because the license has expired does not, it does not mean that I'm not
You're not in the industry.
In the industry, exactly. I'm also a motivational speaker. And there are other things that I do.
I think, talking about sticking to one thing, I also realized that as much as sometimes you want to stick to one thing, the Bible, the big book, also tells us to invest in several things. So, because you never know
where you're going to excel.
Yes, but also the lessons that you learn from this journey are also contributing to your success in the next industry that you're going to be in. So, I think doing many things also it's who you are, especially as a creative.
Yes.
Especially as a business person, because it means you are creating from your own skill, your own talent.
Yes.
Like you are doing hair, lashes.
Brows and the lashes.
But how's the business environment in the space that we operate in?
Part of the business environment, what I've noticed? People have cliques, for lack of a better word. People have cliques. So your clique will support your friends. So and we are at that point where people have got their own cliques. So business will be good, but I'll have my people.
Yeah.
My people will tell their people, Matshego does this, and those are the people that are coming. But Mo Kimberley, man, I think the town itself, it needs to grow.
Yeah.
The mentality about man. It's really a little bit too late back with a lot of things. People don't want to spend. Kobo Jobek, let me just do for argument's sake. Kobo Jobek, you would find that classic lashes are 750, and classic lashes are the most simplest lashes ever. You'll give them a price of your classic lashes, and people will go like, no, but it's too expensive. When you compare the prices, let's go Johannesburg, it might not be Johannesburg, but I mean, you want quality, but at a cheaper rate.
And it's the same quality.
It's the same quality, sometimes even better than that quality. Way better than that quality, but they're expecting to get that quality at a cheaper rate.
Sure.
So, and there's also a mentality where our people do not support each other. They'll rather have somebody from Bloemfontein or that's coming from wherever, that's coming to do a road show, Pamo support, and then everybody supports this person, and then they leave. And then everybody will say, but there was Matshego that does it. Oh, we didn't know.
Did you not really know?
Exactly. So they are comfortable supporting somebody from outside instead of supporting their own. That's why a lot of businesses, literally, they die. They'll rather go to, I'm not xenophobic or have a problem with our African brothers, but they would rather go, to support your African brothers instead of supporting whether that's from here. But that's I think that's what I picked up on.
But how do we change this?
Can we really change it? Are we able to change people and their preference? Because even if it's not their preference, but remember the influence of people that you surround yourself with.
But I say, because we have leaders, what is the role of leadership in uniting and making sure that we have a community that can go for, can support each other?
Look, our people are selfish. Human beings are selfish, generally. So even if we have these leaders, I go back to saying everybody has cliques. Those leaders also have their own cliques and their own people as well. So even if you have to build, or we say let us pursue this idea of ensuring that we do not find that businesses are dying as a result, nobody supporting them, or they are outcast as a result of that. Even those leaders, they will implement the idea, but
according to their own
cliques as well.
But isn't it lack of vision? Because vision should tell us where we are going, so that it's clear as to how we all contribute to making sure that the vision comes to pass.
But do we elect people who've got vision, or do we elect people that we like?
That's a question.
Can you confidently say that those that we elected them because they have a vision, or they are visionaries, or this person has got the potential, or were they elected because kids help?
Yeah.
Because in most cases we will elect because kids help. Let's help can prat. But let us look at mental intelligence. Is Sepo going to be able to take us to where we want to get? Leave that Sepo.
And at that time is already dividing the community.
Klar. And because he's dividing the community, because but Tsepo's mental intelligence Shabaki zero.
And that also then trickles down to everything else.
Everything else flops.
Because everything rises and falls at the level of leadership. Once the leadership is not seen,
then everything crumbles. There's no way that there's going to be stability. If your leader, you're not vision, if your leader does not even understand their position or purpose of you putting them there, then everything is going to crumble.
And now you're a mother, right? The environment is like this. How do you describe your role as a mother to make sure that, also as a motivational speaker, that your kids do not lose motivation in life? Because this is the environment that they're going to face anyway.
Worse.
Yes.
Or worse, because as it stands, things are not getting better.
Eish.
And she's not going to get better. I didn't want to be better next. But I think as a mother, and I've always said to my kids, black child, nobody's coming to save you. You will sit there in that corner waiting for somebody, pula inela, or somebody's going to bring me an umbrella. Nobody's coming to save you. And there's one thing that I learned. Our parents pursued us to have careers 9 to 5. But they couldn't care less about the passion that we had. My kids have got different talents, and I'm driving them in that direction. Because if I was driven in the direction of what I was passionate about, I probably would have achieved way more than what I've achieved now. My daughter's very good with art. She wants to be an architect. She loves animals. She will watch National Geographic for 12 hours. She will sit. She pauses the TV and then she goes and then she comes back. So I've already picked up what her passion is. Now, would it be fair for me to say, but go study law? And that's accounting. And that's how we were pushed. You need to study this and that. So now, me encouraging my kids now based on society now, do what makes you happy. So that if you get discouraged by our leaders, then you don't have to sit down. Or you are not discouraged because I'm not getting to where I want to. Because if you go according to your passion, doesn't matter how many times it fails, you keep on rising up because it's your passion. It's something that you love. So I'm pushing them in that direction.
And also you get to own copyright. You also get to own your
it's
your
thing.
creation.
Yes, it's yours.
And nobody can take your creativity out
No
of
one.
you.
No one. They can try, they can prevent you from getting to where you want to get. But the creativity, it's yours. It's your baby. And nobody's gonna take it.
And the beautiful thing is that we live in a world that is so small. I mean, we are already online, meaning this interview is going to be seen by people that are not just in our geographical locale, which is now where also talent comes in to say that if you don't focus it just here and know that you are here for the world, that's where now you get to also now break the limitations that sometimes the system can try to drive you into.
Sheba, the system limits us. Society has limited us. Society has normalized so many things that people have become comfortable. I feel like if I gotta do everything, you know, and we have to do a factory reset and go back to the way things were done. Because everything, society will tell you, fight for your relationship. And then somebody else will say, oh, smart, now if you don't call me twice in a day, I'm gone. I've moved on. And then somebody else will say, but if it's yours, it will come back. And then what is happening? What are we supposed to do? Society will confuse you.
You know why I laugh?
If you don't know.
I'm laughing because there's this other lady. She was telling me,
listen, Sheba, I said to people, if I had known before I got divorced, I probably would not have gotten divorced. I do not regret the decision. But somebody came to my shop. Had I had a Matshego in my life, I probably would not have left. And I'm not saying unyamezele. You know, it's like I said in the beginning, that I love God. So usually when I talk to people, I'll tell them, you know what? We will preach, we'll read the Bible, and we are Christians. But then you read the book of Corinthians, it will be like a love. Love is patient. Love endures on. Had some parts or certain parts. That are all. Now you get a few problems, you are out. For divorce, I'm out. But didn't I say I love this person? And what does the Bible say? I must endure. Doesn't mean endure pain or whatever. But love forgives. Because this person has hurt me so much. Forgiveness. You posted something the other day about forgiveness.
Yes.
And
you commented.
I commented because I said it liberates you. Somebody was asking me the other day, my ex-husband called me. We were talking like friends and like, who's this girl? No, that's my ex-husband. And they were like, huh? Like, Lialo, you guys are like friends. Kiri, yes. Why? I don't understand, but why did you guys get divorced? Kiri, because there are things that happen that will probably drive you to that. But I believe it doesn't matter how much somebody has hurt you, the onus is upon you to forgive them, because it eats you up. Do you know the energy it takes for you to be angry?
To carry that thing.
How about justice?
It's like you are in this contract that as soon as I see this person,
I need to program myself for it. It takes a lot of energy.
lot.
And when you are miserable more, that person is so happy and they have moved on with their lives. They are living their life. So naki feel gore, do not allow society
to tell you,
do you. Society will confuse you. Your life will be a mess as a result of society. If you do you. And in terms of everything, whether it's relationship, whether it's work, whether it's your kids, you do you.
You do what is authentic to you, what is right to you.
What is right to you. And what feels right for you.
Yes. And also sometimes I think we are also a generation that doesn't endure things. No, not that it's about enduring. We're talking about how we went through tough times, right?
We live.
For us to be where we are right now, we had to go through days where you didn't know where your next
meal is gonna come
next
from.
petrol is coming from. Yes. So had you not gone through that, you wouldn't be this person that you are. And there's no beauty in being weak, in just tapping out everything you are quitting. There's no beauty in that.
I always say testimony. Now I have to leave a mark. I've always said, and I you know, your kids or people, Baba, that surround you, they look at how you live your life and how you survive. My son is only 7 years old. And when he speaks about me, and mommy, I told them, when you do, when how about Tabi? And that time, this man will kill me. But he sees a bravery in me that he feels sorry. My mother will be able to challenge this man.
Yes.
And whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whatever, but I have given him the thing, you need to be brave. So mama hero, because my mother will stand in front of you and my mother will defend me. Anything else. It does not also mean dad is weak. But I have created a superwoman for him. And the same goes with my daughter. And I've always said, God can take me when I see that my daughter has got some of my qualities in her. Then I'm ready. Because then I know she's going to be able to survive. I just want to see certain qualities. Take the survival tactic. If you don't have these tactics, forget about it.
And here's the thing also, we live in a society that always is looking outside for role models. Children are always looking outside. They don't see the mother who's making sure that you don't sleep without food. You've got a roof over your head. You don't see that as a person that is a hero.
That's a hero.
You see, you're looking for glitz and glam outside to say that is what you aspire to become. But the real life is this. Because this is teaching you that tomorrow also when you face the same challenges, you can survive because you saw your mother. You saw your father.
You also saw the lady down the street. You know what? We need to teach our kids how success is not determined by somebody owning Louis Vuitton or whatever. There is that guy since and then you look at where we come from. They have built their house or by extending from Madi au Bankanya di. There is that lady old chips only. And you look at they were able to feed their kids, but Rabana back in school and by the university and they came back. She was not working. That income is what took her kids to school.
Yes.
And we need to teach our kids that those are your heroes. Not somebody on a shop that is set up somewhere with expensive clothes or the expensive bags, whatever. That's still okay. It's their success.
Yes, it's their story.
But show your kids that it's okay to start out small.
Start where you are.
It starts where you are. It starts where you are, and then you move yourself up, because that lady is also a hero. That lady is also a role model. Because now we are busy looking at these people from outside or these big celebrities as our role models, but we are forgetting that we are even surrounded by role models within our community as well.
Yes.
There are business people in our community. You look at them now, that guy comes from, and more than that is somebody I should be telling my kids. Do you know where that guy comes from?
There's a role model that
a big role model.
Who played a big role in the community.
Those are people in the community. People knew where to cry to. People knew and they knew. They won't even ask And they knew they're going to live with something. They're not going to live empty-handed. They knew. And those were the role models that nobody speaks about. Nobody talks about
We're
them.
looking for big cars.
Especially because we want to see certain things happening. You know, the other day I was saying it's so sad when they had, I'm sorry to even mention this, when there was this award that was happening in Kimberley. Some people got awards and all fair and well. And I asked her, where is Lord's bossman? How come he never got an award? That guy represented us internationally. But how? How? And that's how society discards you. You represent them and you are good for them while you are representing them because you are putting them on the map. There's so many people from Kimberley. That's putting Kimberley on the map.
And from there,
they get discarded. And you exactly, and you forget what somebody has represented Kimberley and it goes back to cliques. You know, we go back to cliques. No, that's my friend. And you are discarding people, and even if you have to ask
and Matshego alas no kra about next
there's others that we ask for. Okay, man. I googled them, I couldn't even find anything on them. This person, there is nothing.
Wow. But so with all this, what is your relationship advice? You touched a little bit on the marriage and the children. If a young person is entering a relationship or marriage, what advice would you give them?
Hey, Nina. Hey. I get relationship with Kim John. There's hard to Kim John. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to relationships, I always say, it's like when I bake. I get the measurements in now. When I got married, a friend of mine bought me the measuring cup. I can so alles so rough on which you can read measure. And I appreciated the gift, but I never use the gift because that is me. I do not measure, and my dough will be perfect. Because I got very nice. And I measure. So I always say, even with relationships, there is no formula. Mara, you know what is the biggest thing? I think even whether it's relationships or marriage, we forgot or setso sa rona. Le mokgwa o re re godiswa go sa batsedi ba bona ba godisitsweng ka gone. And we have adopted society standards of relationships and marriages.
Raising under pressure.
Raising under pressure, right? Especially when it comes to women as well. You know, do you know why I think, that's my opinion though. Got a chance to disclaimer. You know, opinion. When you read the Bible, it says, men love your wives. I've looked for it and it's nowhere. But then it says, women submit. In my opinion, I feel if this man, and it says, love your wives as the church, as God loves the church. And what did God or Jesus do? To be prosecuted. That's love. He was willing to now we are saying this is how you're supposed to love your wife as a man, and then the woman is supposed to submit. You will, and I always say, submit. I believe it's submitting to the love language that the man is feeding you. If you love me correctly, I will automatically submit to the way you love me. I'll go to an example. There's Papa O Ompanganyasam Kului. He's very soft spoken. Papa Olha Are Sheba. I'm gonna list Hakim Araba.
You also come down. You submit to.
I submit to how he is addressing me. I'm when I that's how you speak. There's a difference. And I think that's how society e dirile gore monna ke monna, and even men have now adopted this, gore I'm a man, but be a man, but love your woman right. Aba a submit automatically to how you love them. Ha sa mo direle modumo o mo tlhompa, she will she doesn't have a reason. Ya go shobisa se mosadi. Gore I've got somebody who respects me so much, who is so soft spoken, one gore wa itshwara ona le maitshwara ga a mantle, wena o bole rugged wa go itshwabela.
Every time you'll see yourself coming to
you utla moa. I don't want to speak about myself, but
you are the guest. You are the guest.
So we must get back to the way bagolo ba rona ba re godiseng ka teng. I always said bagolo ba rona ga ba re dira justice rona banyana ba Kimberley.
Really?
Batswana ba Kimberley yela. Nya ga ra dira justice. O kere banyana ba go kurumana ga ba bua le banyana ba go bolosa saneng.
Botahung. Bo mahikeng.
Bona banyana ba ha ba bole borre. Man voice ya change. Tamo go rona. Nya. Sheba ke atla ke go apa ka speed. We are not saying it's wrong. I'm merely saying, men sometimes when they are like adult kids. Ukubana ngwana ha o ka mo direla modumo e kare o nna mere stubborn. Mara mo ra re sheba go pa o dire yana o nna yana. Hari dira modumo like banyana ba Mazulu, their marriages last. And I say report gore why Mazulu? Have you heard any divorce mo Mazulu? If it is there, I'm sure even percentage thing equal class compared to us, because they are raised for umosadi or also tshotse se dire monna go tlhokometse smart ga thanda buzi na o ntse o tlhokometse o mpha selo mo sengwe ha ere 6 o'clock go tsena mo tlung ke santse go krapa mo phone ya gago.
And how is that o bore ke go itsholela
wa utlwa.
You cannot. I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, there is not a gender role.
It's
as well.
Yes.
There's not a moment where you make me feel like
o re wa mo tlung.
E ka re bana hela ka re go motshameko ke mapopa hela.
Le yana go sheba go motshameko tsa selo ke se re go mama ena ha tsena ke ka rana ga se wa pai. I'm not saying it's wrong. My ex-husband used to cook. My ex-husband used to cook, and he was a very good cook. He is a very good cook. But I'm a hustler. So Nagtabeke hustler, and he was not but I respected his role as a man montu. It was a bonus. Because you know what, I'm running late because I'm running late. I was informing him as a partner, I'm running late. Meaning I'm still going to do my duties as a wife.
You mentioning something that is very important, or a man must love. But today, I heard something this spoken somewhere that today's women are the ones now babarata.
That's why this are lasting. That's why this are lasting. Reta ba ka mo ga borreba e bileng a go block 7 days ya la go blockile ya ka gore reta ba ka mo ga bona o batla eng baby le re ikobe ga ya ra morati
ka se mo tsale morago
ge mo sala morago ka gore kwa no morata ka kire ga go rati
to a point when now fanda ga le a betcha di 50,000 lantsha
hey
bana ba ready karatsa tsa basadi like what's that
aya go mosadi go monka yone koloi ya gago. That's where the problem comes in. I think arranged marriages was the best because you were given only family moratile, but initially o go ratile e sala ra ba gola re ke ratile ole wena family ya gago e bidira sure gore wa go nyalwa kwa. So many the men loved you, you did not love the men. And where are those marriages now? They are still there.
Because it's the man who saw first.
Thank you.
Then go na strategic la go
arrange. O bolelwa gore mmawe ha o itlhakwa gore wa morata ga morati tota ela mere kwa go ka mosadi
ke go submit
o ikobe o dire di-duty tsa go tsa bosadi
le bile tla tsoga moselwane
le bele joga e bile o tla itlhela mo dilasing yana ha ka re yana ba tsofetse mosadi mo rata thata gore ha ona no sa matli le o sa le batli. And I think that is why so many marriages lasted. No nyana ke wena o maka e ra ipuela re ba romela di inbox gore ye ra di dinyana tsa gago di dintle yang ge wa bana le ha dumetse re wa gore nya o tlo ntira style because ke nna ke motabogetseng ke re ditedu
hey
ditedu.
But let's get back to the career now and the business. The conversation is hot.
The conversation is hot because I think those are the issues that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants to run away from it. And society has said, and you know that, like I said, I do motivational speaking and I do adult talks. So I would tell the ladies, nna le ha nkana a millionaire nna ke batla re wa ka am badge ke santse ke batla gago because I feel make a man feel like he's the man. And men love taking care of women, and that is how even his masculinity comes out because bona mosole go sentse dinala ka madi yaka ke ntse ke na le madi a mantsi ya ka mara a ga gone ke a batla
Ke nnete.
ke batla go gore ha o peya ka di 15 la o mphe mo betšho wa ka wa di 15 ska gore nna ke na le ya makae ga se mathata ga go ao tera di duties tsa gago ke batla le go go tefa ntse ke re bebe bitse keng le ha ke itse go bula botlola metsi ke re a kompulele botlola metsi hao no ntse o tefanyana ha matana gore re batla go ipulela botlola metsi wa sengwe le sengwe wa
itirela o batla gore le globe ha ithubegile o batla go
ke nna o ba ke bankanya le diketlele yaanong ha ke tsena mo di relationshiping ke a itebala ke santse ke le ha
ga o ne motho o mong kanse gore okay let me play my role, and then role ga se like it is how you also decide in a relationship okay this is how we complement each other to make this thing work, because obviously you came together because you know this thing must
quality tsa nyena to khone go berekisana nna itse go di relationship relate.
Yeah sure. No, let's go back to business. How do you deal with challenges?
How do I deal with challenges? I would say challenges are inevitable. I used to be a very anxious girl, and didn't know I think I'm a bit anxious, but I've toned down a lot. Life experiences has changed me so much. How when you have challenges, ideas not to panic. In the beginning, at first I used to panic, and I would get so anxious. I've got eczema naturally, so I would start itching because challenge I tlhagamo. But lately, every challenge I give it to God. I hand it over to Him. Later. And there was a session I once had Mudimu is the author, but we are too quick to grab the pen out of his hand because we want to finish the chapter. I remember chapter 2 or chapter 9 because Javel Netlamak.
And we behave like, sorry for jumping in that, as if it is us who came up with the good plans, not to harm us, not to prosper us. I mean, he's the one who came up with those things. But now we want to run with it.
I knew you before you were born, so he knows more chapter where you must go through it. When I jump,
and wisdom.
You don't even have the wisdom, you don't even learn. How I to do next from it? Absolutely nothing.
How I change because it's the minister.
Absolutely nothing.
So handing to God is the way.
He must tell me what is going to happen. Remember, he's the author, so I allow him to do his job. Because even at times, we will give it to him and then handle. I must wait for them to call me.
That's such wisdom because we don't wait.
We do not wait. We are
I mean, even
impatient.
in prayer, we don't sit and wait. Literally wait
Impatient.
for. We are so impatient that even if God wants to drop a witty idea, a wisdom, a strategy, you are already out of the door.
Israel had to go through all of that 40 years. When a few months struggle, I've had enough. You know, if I have to be, I said that if I have to tell people where I come from, even now, things are not as they seem. But if once you've given things over,
What's there to stress about?
Free flow. Because how can I say you can anxious about this and about that? And even when people ask you, my clients usually say, free therapy session. Because I give them the platform to talk about whatever they want to talk about. I will advise in between, but you know, I'm giving you my life experiences. It might not be the same for you. But in everything, I always tell them, pray about it. If you are not sure, pray about it. But you relationship, but you're not praying for the relationship. Now it's already too late, because remember the devil in it. So I go tlogela ela wena ne ntse le tsamaya ela ha le tsena a execute le tera plan ya gagwe, when you're going to pray.
Just fall into it.
Yes, you fall into it.
Yo, there's a lot to talk about, but I want you to come back. So for now, I want you to give us your parting shot. There's a lot to unpack, really, as far as relationships and business. It's a lot. So what is your last message?
Man, you know, my last message, I'll have a last message as a woman, or trust in the Lord your God and don't lean on your own understanding. We live our lives, we do everything, like I said, I do adult talks, I do everything that I do, whether it's moral or not. And once you have mastered that,
sorry, before you leave, are there moments where you doubt yourself, or you've got imposter syndrome before you go? Because you sound like you've got this thing together, man.
No, I don't. There are moments when but because remember I said not don't, le can't does not exist in my vocabulary. I have a moment when I break down. Yes, and I cried alone. Be sure about you will never see the problems because I believe that my kids need to see. I've already created a platform where I'm their role model, so they could never, everything that I do gets motivated by them, or they look up to me. So even if I'm having that moment cannot immaterialize.
Yes.
Because I've got people here who are saying, but she can do it.
But not that you don't face challenges.
I face
so
them.
That they must also not shy away from dealing with their challenges.
Yes. Challenges, you know, I talk with my kids a lot. The other day I took my daughter to the shop and she worked. Yeah, I remember my wrist hurt. Yes, darling. That's why I always tell you you need to study hard and pursue what you are passionate about. Shop chips, whatever, it's nothing. But I'm trying to show you how hard work it is. Because somebody's mom is going to come here and work here the whole day. Your wrists are tired now. For just 2 hours that you were peeling potatoes. Imagine there's a lady that's working for KFC or wherever that's peeling potatoes every day. Because at some point they let go of what they were passionate about, or pursue what they were passionate about. Or and challenges arose and then they gave up. Now they're at that point where they must peel potatoes.
And also that, I think, teaches children gratitude.
Yes.
To appreciate these when they receive them.
Yes.
Wow, on that note, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to see you again. We have a lot to do.
Yay.
There's work that we need to do together.
A lot. You know, we still need to finish that project. We still need to, although it will stay in the different direction, but I think it's something
I think time is now.
The time is now.
Well, thank you so much for making time to come through. That was Matshego Piko, the bold, the beautiful, the one who knows her story.
But I fear God.
Definitely. And that is how we come to the end of this episode of Our Voice. Don't forget to comment, to like, to share. My name is Matshego Piko, and thank you so much for having joined us today. Cheers.